What's up, guys? Steve here. I'm self-diagnosed MMA scrapaholic, and I'm just going to be going over UFC Fight Night Saudi Arabia. Just happened on the weekend. Israel Adesanya, Nasruddin Imavov. Their names are hard to say. Don't judge me. It wasn't the best fight card. Maybe like, I don't know, 6 out of 10, 5.5 out of 10. But is what it is. I'm going to kind of just briefly talk about each fight, and then I'm going to give you my pick of who I think the winners of each fight should fight next. All right, let's get into it. All right, guys, first fight. Starting off with heavyweights. We're like coming out with a big bang. Yeah, Saudi Arabia. No. Yeah, Hamdi Abdul Wahab for representing Egypt. Egypt representation in the UFC. That is cool to see versus Jamal Pogues. Fight was just a mediocre heavyweight grind fest. Went to split decision. Hamdi took it. A lot of people will say Jamal Pogues should have won, but whatever. I think either one of the guys could have pushed a little harder, maybe, to really put a stamp on that fight, but they didn't. I think Hamdi maybe pulled it off with some mediocre ground and pound early, but yeah, he got the win regardless. So I think next for him, maybe Muhammad Usman. I don't know. I was looking through I don't know who would be right around his range. I think he doesn't have a fight. I think that'd be an all right one to set up. All right, guys. Next fight that was up was Bogdan Lucas Alexander in the featherweight division. Man, that fight was really going Lucas Alexander's way. I actually thought he was dominating everywhere. Stand up, the grappling exchange, everything. But then Bogdan, man, grindy dude, just came back. He got the takedown, got him down, and finished it with strikes. It was a impressive little comeback. Yeah, good for Bogdan. I'm thinking next, how about Nate Landwehr? Nate the Train didn't look too good in his last fight. I think it's a tough matchup. Just outclass stand-up, couldn't get any grappling going, but I think stylistically wise, Bogdan Nate the Train Landwehr is a good matchup. I think it could be an exciting fight. We'll see it all a little bit. I think their striking's right around. I think their grappling's right around the same. I think it'd be an exciting, well-matched fight, personally. So hopefully we see it. All right, guys. Next fight was women's flyweight bout. Jasmine Jasudavicius, my queen of the north, fellow Canadian. She was taking on Mauro Bonasilva, so it was coming down from bantamweight. Let's just be honest, she should have stayed there. I don't know if it was the weight cut was the issue or whatever, but she never looked in this fight at all. I think Jasmine really dominated it. Her striking was better. Her grappling was better. She defended any kind of jiu-jitsu attempt by Silva pretty easily. Her ground and pound was overwhelming. Yeah, like she just looked great. She dominated this fight. Silva there was some weird complaints on her side. There was in between rounds, she just really didn't look into the fight. It looked like her corner was trying to fire her up, and a little bit maybe she got back into it a little bit in the third round, threw some punches, but it was all Jasmine anyways. So Jasmine takes the win by unanimous decision. So what next for Jasmine? I think a big fight is coming her way. I don't know if it'll be next or after one more win. I'd love to see her fight like a Macy Barber or a Rose Namajunas. I don't think that's realistic. Maybe the UFC's looking at like Miranda Maverick. That would be a rematch, but they're both on 4-fight winning streaks. They're not too far out in the rankings, but I think the one that makes most sense would be Vivian Araujo. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, so I have pronounced many names wrong and will continue to do so. But they were scheduled to fight last year in July, and they are, I think, 8 and 9 in rankings after this weekend. So that fight makes the most sense. But I do want to say I have a bit of a dream fight for Jasmine, and that would be Erin Blanchfield. I think Jasmine's got her on the feet, so her striking's superior, but Erin's got wrestling superior. But then let's mix it all together with some grappling and jiu-jitsu and ground and pound and everything. And I think that would be a cool fight to see where they're at when the MMA is combined with their specialties and stuff. But we'll see. All right, next fight up, lightweight bout, Terrence McKinney, Damir Hadzovic. So this is Terrence McKinney's first fight back after suffering a devastating knockout loss to Esteban Ribovic. Head kick, about 30 seconds in the first round. out cold, up against nasty. If you haven't seen that, you should stop this video right now and go watch that because it is sick. Anyways, Terrence McKinney taking on Damir Hadzovic. So Hadzovic, he hadn't fought in almost 3 years going into this fight, and it's the question when people were out that long. It's like, what have they been doing? Have they been traveling the world? Have they been training hard, learning new things, getting better, and better? This was not the case. Terrence McKinney dominated this fight. First round, TKO, ground and pound. It was all right. Not the craziest, most exciting, but it was good. Anyways, moving forward, Terrence McKinney, man. Yeah, I don't know. Lightweight division always has tons of fights. I think this one could make sense. That's a guy who, many times in his career probably thought about even retiring, but maybe not, and has shown that he's still got it. And that is Michael Johnson. All right, next fight, we're back to the big boys. Heavyweights, Shamil Ghazi versus Thomas Peterson, and we get what we all wanted, that one-punch knockout power by the heavyweights. Shamil Ghazi, yeah, level Thomas Peterson, good first round. Yeah, good for him. Impressive win. Sets him up in a good position to take on someone top 10, probably. There's a few options. Derek Lewis and Tai Tuivasa, man, I don't know. Maybe Tai, I don't know what he's doing in the top 10 still. He's lost the last 5 in a row. Derek Lewis, maybe. But I think fight I like personally, he's top 10 fighter just coming off a loss. I think when you're a top rank fighter and you lose, I think you should fight someone below you. When you're winning, you get to fight guys ahead of you kind of thing. And it's Sergey Spivak. Yeah, he just lost against Almeida the other weekend. I think rebound fight against Shamil Ghazi. Let's do it. All right, guys, next fight of the night, we are back in the featherweight division. This is Muhammad Naimov versus Genghis Khan Offley. Sick name. Wish he lived up to a little bit more. This wasn't that exciting of a fight. I feel bad for Khan. I think he has one of those guys that's hard time showing how good he is in the octagon. I think he's better than he looks. I think his grappling's better, his striking, everything's better. But he got knocked out in his last fight. Maybe he was a little timid on the feet. Yeah, I don't know. Something looked like he was holding him back or something. But I think he'll rebound. I think he'll come back once he figures that out. I think he's got a bright future still. He's pretty young still, and I think he's going to be a stud in the division once he figures it out himself out. I don't know. Anyways, regardless, Muhammad Naimov, he got the win, unanimous decision victory. Where he goes from now, I think let's throw him up against another grappler. I think Pat Sabatini would be a really good fight for him, really good matchup, good test. Pat Sabatini. All right, guys, we are entering main card here. It was a lightweight bout. Varas Ziem, Mike Davis. Easily fight of the night here, guys. This was a wicked fight. And Varas Ziem opened up Mike Davis with a nasty cut that just round 2, round 3 was just bleeding everywhere like crazy. Round 3, Mike Davis cuts Varas Ziem so that they're both bleeding. It's exactly what everyone wants to see. Two bloody men just battling it out. There was a really cool slam where Varas Ziem has Mike Davis in the air, and Mike Davis does this big 12-6 elbow. It was sick. Good fight. Both guys, nothing to be ashamed of. This was exciting. These are the kind of fights. This is one of those holy shit moment fights. It was awesome. Don't think it's going to be contending for fight of the year or anything, but great fight. Be memorable for a long time. Anyways, that being said, Varas Ziem did get the win by unanimous decision. There is actually one more thing I forgot to mention about the fight. Mike Davis had him in a crazy calf splicer where Varas Ziem's leg was completely twisted around. I don't understand how he didn't tap. I don't get how his leg is okay. It looked like his knee was blown to pieces, but he fought through it. Anyways, Varas Ziem, well-deserved, wins, unanimous decision. He's got big fight coming, man. He is... he looks good. He's on a 5-fight winning streak. He deserves a big fight, and I think that big fight is Joe Alvarez. Winner gets locked into the top 15. I think Alvarez might be already, but Joe Alvarez, that's a fight to make. Those two guys would put on a hell of a show. I think that's a wicked fight. All right, next fight of the night, guys. We're down to the bantamweight division. Said Nurmagomedov versus Vinicius Oliveira. This is a pretty good fight. I think a bit of an upset. Said Nurmagomedov favorite. You see that Nurmagomedov name, you're like, bet the house these guys don't lose. But lately we're seeing that they're beatable. And Vinicius Oliveira showed that he wasn't scared of that Nurmagomedov name. Gritty fight. Oliveira looked like he had a bit of a rib injury or something he was battling with, which makes his unanimous decision win over Nurmagomedov even more impressive. Yeah, this fight had it all. Had some grappling, had striking. Didn't really disappoint. I think it was kind of exactly what the fight people thought, but they just kind of see Nurmagomedov maybe, doing a little better than he did. Like I think the fight, if these guys fought 10 times, maybe it'd be 5-5. It was pretty even matchup, but. Yeah, Vinicius Oliveira, where does he go from now? He's had a couple impressive wins in the UFC. He had that huge knockout of the year against Bernardo Sopaj. He beat Ricky Simone to the decision. Now Nurmagomedov, he called out another Nurmagomedov, Umar, who's probably out for a bit because he suffered that pretty bad broken hand. And I just don't think that's a fight that they would make. I appreciate Vinicius Oliveira, wanting to become this Nurmagomedov slayer, but I don't think that's a fight. I think a good fight for him moving forward. How about Ronnie Barcelos? Barcelos just had a really good fight against that Peyton Talbot, where he was a huge underdog. Like that's going to be probably upset of the year, and he looked great. And I think he would match up really good against Vinicius Oliveira. So I think it's a fight to make. I think that's a fan fight. I think that's an exciting fight. That's got to be it. Let's do it. All right, guys, we have another heavyweight fight coming at us. We were spoiled on this card. 3 heavyweight fights, 3 big bangers, 3 we should see one-punch knockout powers. Sergey Pavlovich versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. 2 guys known for putting people to sleep, and that's exactly what they did in all the wrong ways. They put the crowd to sleep. They put you at home to sleep. This was a horrible fight. 2 guys, way too much respect for the other guy's power. Didn't want to interact. Didn't want to strike. Sergey took the easy road out. Took Rozenstruik down a few times and just kind of sat on top and grinded out the decision. Rozenstruik, he's not known for getting off his back. He couldn't get up. He had no answer for it. The last 10 seconds, Rozenstruik was like, "Okay, I'm gonna throw down now." Yeah, well, you had 10 seconds, and you should have maybe if he should have fought the last 2 minutes the way he fought the last 10 seconds, maybe he could have changed it around. Regardless, Sergey gets the decision, unanimous. Rozenstruik actually ended up getting cut from the UFC. This made big news because he was 3-2 or something in his last 5, top 10 fighter. Getting cut like that, I don't know. Is the UFC sending a message, make an example of him? Maybe. And do I hate it? I don't. I think this is a entertainment business, and you put on boring fights like that, they don't want you. You're on the main card. You got to perform, I guess. And wow, poor Rozenstruik, he's out of there, but maybe he'll be back. I don't know. Maybe he should just retire. I don't know. Anyway, Sergey Pavlovich, he won a unanimous decision. Where does he go next? Yeah, I don't know. Good question. Actually, is it? I think it's probably obvious. Ciryl gone. Put him up. Who else is there to fight in the top 5 for Sergey? It's probably gone. Maybe winner gets a title fight. Yeah, probably. Maybe. Who knows? The title, who knows what's even going on with the title in the heavyweight division. Anyways, yeah. Sergey Pavlovich, Ciryl gone. Next fight. All right, guys. Co-main event, middleweight bout. The Pirate, Shara Magomedov, or is he the Bullet? I don't know. One of those two against Michael Venom Page. Yeah, I don't know if many people seen the fight playing out this way. Maybe Michael Page did his thing. He kept his distance. He was hard to read. Shara, he didn't have an answer for it. His style. Michael Page blasted in and out, landing some really good punches. Actually, I think Shara showed that he had quite a bit of a chin on him. I thought this would be a higher action fight. I think Shara kind of maybe let this one slide a little too much. I think he needed to press the action more. I think he really needed to bring the fight to Michael Page. I think did you not watch film on him? The guy fights every fight the same way. But he didn't have an answer for it. Anyways, Michael Page got the win by decision. I'm gonna do both fighters here. I think Michael Page should drop back to 170. I think that he's planning to, and I have an interesting fight for him. I think people have thought about it. I think people are curious what this fight would look like, and it's like seeing karate combat in the UFC, and that's Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Throw the karate guys against each other. Everyone wants to see it. Everyone wants to see it. Who knows? It might be the worst fight. It might be the best fight. I really don't know how that fight turns out. Anyways, that'd be a sweet fight. Michael Page, Steven Wonderboy Thompson. And then for Shar Magomedov, I'd like to see him fight Roman Kopylov. I think that stylistically is a crazy fight for everyone, fans, everyone. Like, this is going to be a stand-up striking, and someone is getting knocked out in that fight. All right, guys, main event, middleweight fight, Israel Adesanya and Nasruddin Imavov. I'll be honest, I was a little biased for this fight. Izzy is my dude. I was so excited for this fight. I thought this was a good fight for Izzy. I thought he was going to stay on the outside, pick Imavov apart, and then finish him maybe round 3, maybe round 4, or just take it home with the unanimous decision. Turns out that didn't happen. I thought Izzy fought a wicked round 1. You know, he did exactly what I said. He kept his distance. He was picking him apart with the leg kicks. Imavov couldn't take him down, which, you know, notably is always really hard to take down. But Imavov, round 2, man, lands that, you know, the left-right overhand. You know, Izzy has showed a kind of a weakness to right overhands, it seems. And, yeah, he got him. He got the KO. I don't think it's arguable at all. I think it was a good stoppage by the referee. And so just where do these guys go now? Well, this was a huge kind of a title eliminator fight. Imavov, I think he deserves a big fight. Cairo Barral is the one that comes to mind at first. Maybe these guys fight and the winner gets the next title fight. The problem is I think the middleweight division is kind of tied up right now. We got Strickland Duplessis fighting this weekend. Let's go Strickland. And then I think Khamzat Chimaev is obviously getting the next title fight. And so then maybe it makes sense to have a fight between Imavov and Barral, and then they fight the winner of hopefully Strickland Khamzat. Then Izzy, where does Izzy go? Man, like tons of options. There's tons of guys in the top 10 that Izzy could fight. I don't know about rematches against like Whitaker or Paulo Costa, maybe. But there is a big fight going on. Brendan Allen versus Anthony Hernandez coming up. Maybe the winner of that fight fights Izzy. I think like I'd like to see Izzy fight Brendan Allen. I think that'd be a good fight. Anthony Hernandez, yeah, maybe too. That would be cool. So maybe the winner of that fight takes on Izzy. Yeah, I think those make sense. All right, guys, I appreciate it a lot watching the video right to the end. This was my first video. Clearly, I'm not the best at it. It'll be a work in progress. I know talking is not my best quality, obviously. But yeah, I enjoy doing this. I want to make more. Just leave some comments, anything I could improve. And if you liked it, any questions. Just one thing to note with the fight matchups and stuff, I tried not to pick fighters who already had fights lined up. So yeah, there might have been fights that made more sense for other fighters, but that fighter was already scheduled to fight someone else. So I decided to only pick fighters I could find that weren't scheduled to fight, other than I guess that easy fight with the Brandon Allen and Anthony Hernandez. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and take care.